everyone, and welcome to the first peek inside Lenny's little bookshop. I'm bobbing on today to do Beat the Boredom because obviously we're all in a situation now where we're on lockdown and we need to find ways to entertain our little ones. Essentially, it's just a quick event to go through some of the stuff that we've got in the bookshop. I just want to, try and talk you through sort of ways, books, activities, discussions that you can have with your children, utilising some of the gorgeous reading material that we've got on offer. Please feel free to comment below or interact with me. I'll do my best to answer any questions that you've got. Equally, you can message us on the page. Just ask any questions you've got about any of the books that you see today, or alternatively any of the books on the catalogue that you see that we'll link at certain points on the page. Today we're doing a special offer for any of the frontline workers, NHS workers, people that are on the front line and dealing with this mad situation that we've got going on at the moment. I'm going to do an offer where if anybody places an order over £10, those people are going to get a free gift. So if you want to place an order, you can look forward to that if you're a frontline worker. I do have leaflets and brochures, so if you want a leaflet or anything like that, I can send them over to you. And then I'll link, as I've said, in the About Us section, or I'll comment below, a link to our brochure, which has got all of the different titles that we've got in the bookshop on offer. There's loads in there, loads and loads. As well, when you look through the brochure, you'll see that we don't just do books. So we've got jigsaws, activity books, flashcards, things like that. Really good learning resources for children to just keep them busy. Try and keep them active and busy. Obviously, really, we can organise books to go to anywhere. Utilise me as a service. Utilise us as a little bookshop. We can organise books to be sent direct to locations. So just recently I've had an order off a grandparent that obviously isn't seeing their grandchildren at the moment, which is really sad. So they've sent some books to them to keep them occupied. Birthdays, new arrivals, if people have had children and you weren't able to see them, you can send a gift that way. Or if it's just for your own children, or a baby shower. I couldn't get to a baby shower today that should have gone on. So sometimes it's just a really nice, thoughtful gift to show that it's a token, you're still thinking about somebody, but it's just a fantastic way of, it's just something that people are going to keep for a long time. So it's great, we can organise that. So let's get down to it. Let's have a look at some of the books we've got on offer. I'm going to go through the books that we've got. There's 19 in total. I'm going to try and whiz through them so we're not on this video any longer than sort of 30 or 40 minutes. Hopefully it'll be shorter. I'm going to go live on Facebook at 8 p.m. So I'll post this after that. So this should be around about 9-10 p.m. now. But I'm going to whiz through them and try and get through them quite quickly. There's 4 personal picks that I've got throughout all these books that I'm going to show you, and I'll explain when I get to them the reasons why they are my personal picks. So we'll begin. It wouldn't be an Usborne discussion if I wasn't discussing That's Not My. There's a huge range of Usborne books that are called That's Not My, and this one in particular, That's Not My Llama. It's about 5 gorgeous llamas that babies and toddlers will love, touching these textured patches as they meet the llamas with the tufty fur, shiny hooves and fuzzy noses. There's gorgeous bright pictures in there, lots of things to touch and feel. It's all about developing sensory and language awareness. So these books are absolutely gorgeous. They're aimed at 6 months plus, and they go for sort of $6.99 a book. There's over 50 in the range, and when you have them all stacked next to each other, they're like in a gorgeous rainbow effect. So that's not My Llama. That's the first one. Okay, next up, Pap Pap. Okay, so this is aimed at 3 plus. and it follows the early years first stage curriculum. So this is a really great book if you've got children that are preparing to go to school or they're at their first year in school. And it just is, it's a great way to get young readers interacting with us. So it's based on the principles of synthetic phonics, and it supports the letters and sounds programme used in all of the primary schools in the UK. So the adult and child take it in turns to read. So for example, I will take you through, so there's always 3 sort of themes in all of these books. You've got a story, puzzles, and then guidance notes. Now, you know, it's great because it teaches, well, it helps us parents to really have a structure when teaching our children how to read. So also there's always links in there to how we can better teach our children how to read. You know, there's really good resources there, and there's always some really good education links on there. So each book contains a story, puzzles, and guidance notes. So this is part of the Usborne very first reading scheme of books, and it is very similar. I'm just going to show you. I have another set of books at home that are the Oxford Reading Tree, so the Biff, Chip, Kipper books that are out there. This is very similar. So in the same way, it has that talk you through it, walk you through it, help for the parents. It's just really good. Essentially, this is how the book works. So in the top, the adult will read, and then in the bottom, the child will read. It's rhyming. It's you know, it was written by and developed by this whole reading scheme by people at a London university, and it's been really well thought out. So I would really recommend it. So you can see there, the night was cold, the sky was black, the window rattled, and then the child would read, tap, tap, tap. And they start to understand the lilts and sounds in the book. There's only the letters S-A-T, P-I-N-M-D. So it's like the very first stage. It's like number 1 in the first stage of reading. We also do at the back questions and answers. So you start to get like the child interacting with the story, trying to absorb the story. You know, these are just an example of some of the puzzles. But yeah, if you have a child that is preparing to go to school, just starting to learn letters and words, this is the scheme. So it's the Usborne Young or very first reading scheme, and this is book 1. But there's a whole series of them, and they are fantastic. So that's them. Next, this is the personal pick that I was discussing. I am absolutely passionate about these books. I absolutely think they are the most fantastic books that you could possibly buy. This is the Poppy and Sam series. So, my passion for these books started when I was a child. My mum bought me these books when I was a child. And essentially they just are a series of books that are all about farmyard tales, different farmyard tales. So that's The Pig Gets Stuck. This is The Naughty Sheep. I am a personal fan of hardback books. I just love the feel of them. I love reading them with Leonard. They are slightly smaller, so they can go in a bag if you're travelling. And, you know, they're just fantastic. They are, like I said, a personal pick of mine. You spot the little yellow duck on each page. And again, in these, there are, similar to Pirate Pat, there are different puzzles and understanding the story in each of them. Also, the children get to know the characters, so there's always an introduction to the characters. Poppy and Sam, Apple Tree Farm. I don't even have to look in them to understand, to know what the characters and the stories are all about, because I've just read them for years, and I just absolutely love them. Children that are mad about farms, children that go to petting zoos and farms will absolutely love this series of books. They're just so engaging, and there is 3 pages in the catalogue of Poppy and Sam, different books and activity books. So buy these, they are fantastic if you've got young children. They are, if you look on the catalogue, there is a whole range of ages that these will suit. Like I said, the ones I've shown you there are the young, the first reading, that's to help them understand the story. But then some of these softback books are just general stories for older children. And you can see that the text in them is it flows slightly smaller, but I mean they're all for young readers, but they're brilliant. So my 4-year-old really enjoys them, so that might give you an indication as to what sort of age they may be for. Next up, this isn't a book, this is activities. So I have found these to be absolutely life-saving when it comes to the lockdown that we're in at the moment. We've got the Wipe Clean activity books. Now, a lot of schools are sending home homework and things, and although we have printers, inks and everything like that, the cost, to keep printing out these activity sheets to get them to do the letters, well, not only that, I don't have any room on my fridge to keep pinning things up that he's done. These are such fantastic resources to be able to keep in. I have like an activity pack that we keep at home, and essentially it just allows you to keep them in your locker, and whenever you're stuck, get this out as a Wipe Clean book that you can just keep going over and over and over again. Now, I have bought budget versions of these before, and I have found that there isn't enough of an educational guide when it comes to letter flow and letter formation. So as you can see here, there is numbers and stages as to how you're supposed to bring your pen down the letter and form the letter. And also it shows you the direction and flow of the pen that you're supposed to have on the books. You do not get that with budget books. So I bought a budget book for I think it was £1.50 something from a pound shop. I saw it and I just thought, oh, I'll grab that. And when I opened it up, it didn't have anywhere near as much detail in it, and yeah, it just sort of didn't live up to expectation. So I have this one. This is the one on stock, which is the Wipe Clean Alphabet. These are aimed at like 3 years plus. They retail at $5.99 each, but for me, they're a godsend. Now, I'm just going to show you some of the other Wipe Clean range that they do have. This is the space activities and the garden activities. So they do different, it's not just necessarily forming letters and Wipe Clean words. You've also got like activity books where they can follow the lines and follow the pictures. And it's just, they are really, really good for having in an activity pack so that you can just get them out. The gorgeous illustrations as well. You just keep them engaged. It's like spot the difference and follow the pen. And then another one I've got is the Getting Ready for School, Wipe Clean words to copy. And again, it's this showing the letter formation. And as you can see there, it's been filled in, and you can just keep going over these and over these again. So I have a range of them that I keep, and I just pull out whenever I need to grab that extra hour, and it keeps him busy. So that's the Wipe Clean range. Have I told you everything I need to tell you on that? Yeah, I think so. Right, next up is the Busy Train book. It's more on the pricey side. This is $14.99. However, it's aimed at 2 and 3 year olds. If your child loves trains as much as my child does, this book is just the most beautiful thing I think I've ever seen. Here we have you get a little toy train with it, and essentially what it does is it goes through, there's 6 different pages in the book, and it goes through different places, and it takes you through, there's a story. Now, this is a pull-back train, so when you put it on a surface and pull it back, you then add it to the track in the book when you lie it flat, and the train actually travels all around this little groove. I don't know if you can see the little groove in the book, but the train actually travels all the way around the book, which is it's brilliant. When you see the child's face light up when that train is actually travelling around the story that you're telling it, it really does bring the story to life. And I just think I don't know, it's one of a kind. I'd never really seen one of these books before I'd seen this particular one. So this is the Busy Train book, and obviously, like I said, there's tracks throughout. It's fantastic, and keeps them engaged in the story and the learning. Like I said, there's a vested interest for the child to get on to the next page then. So that's $14.99, but I do think it's worth every penny. Essentially, you're getting like a book and a train track all in one there. So that's the Busy Train book. Peep Inside the Sea. So this book is aimed at 3 years plus. Again, the Peep Inside the Sea. You've got to peep inside under waves, the coral, and there's a load of lift flap books throughout. Children absolutely love a lift flap. I find it keeps them engaged, like I said. The illustrations are gorgeous, and throughout the whole book there's just different lift flaps that are all to do with under the sea. If I can, there we go. It's just gorgeous. So that one's $7.99, and it's called Peep Inside the Sea, and that's aimed at 3 years plus. This is another one aimed at 3 years plus. This is called Poodle Draws Doodles. And this is about, I don't know how many parents can relate to this. This book is about a poodle that loves to doodle on anything that she shouldn't be doodling on. So that's walls, doors, floors. No surface is safe, essentially. So the naughty poodle's soon in trouble, but could her alfresco drawing skills actually come in useful? So it's an entertaining story for beginner readers, and it's got simple rhyming text, stylish illustrations, and parents' notes on phonics. So if you go into the book itself, you know, phonics are such a really key learning area at school, especially in the first sort of year or two, well, first year nursery. And it's just talking about phonemic awareness, really, about important early stage pre-reading and developing phonemic, I think I'm saying that right, awareness. So rhyming stories and alliteration, you know, poodle, doodle, chalk, stalk, scroll, wall. It's just to get them used to all of those rhyming words. But again, really lovely big text and illustrations. Poodle draws doodles. Put my teeth in there. So that's that one. That retails for $5.99. But again, it's great for that, encouraging these young readers to you know, start learning things like alliteration and phonics. Next up, huge hit in my house, because anything to do with space is a hit. This is $5.99, and it's a part of the Usborne Beginners range. So this is the Living in Space book that retails for $5.99. It's all about, you know, this is more, it's got some gorgeous illustrations in it, all factual stuff about space. My little boy is absolutely obsessed with space. He has a space bedroom. This is just sort of, it would fit in really well. Anything with an astronaut on the front, he gravitates towards, excuse the pun. So it includes, where am I at? It includes simple text, stunning photographs. Now this is good, and I find this a lot with some of the Usborne books. There are links to websites with video clips and activities. So if you're ever reading an Usborne book and you're considering, right, okay, is that it now? The book's over and done with. More often than not, there will be a QR code, a website, there'll be some other information that underpins the book that you're reading. It's a great way to make the book and the feeling surrounding the book last a lot longer. You know, it's something that we should be doing with them. Get them to, you know, no doubt now all children have got tablets, but get them to pick up the tablet, get them to have a look at some of the links that they've got in there and make it more interactive. Like I said, with this one, I think it mentions somewhere that there is a link in there for further information and activities. Websites to visit, there you go. So there's always like an extra websites to visit at the back. And again, in this one, I just love it. There's like a glossary of terms at the back, so they can start learning all the different, words and meanings about space. This is right up Leonard's street, so he'll absolutely love this. So that's Living in Space, part of the Usborne Beginners series. It's factual, and I find that really inquisitive children love this series of books. Then on to something a little bit more fun, again activity based. We've got the Mermaid, so the little sticker dolly dressing mermaid book. It's really quite enchanting, this book. It's gorgeous, it's pretty, and it's something that I find children just gravitate towards. They love stickers. I know you find them everywhere, but it will keep them quiet for a little bit. Essentially, there's 200 stickers with like sparkly mermaid tails, friendly sea creatures, shell jewellery and seaweed skirts to add to the mermaids as they swim through the coral reef. So you've got that, like, children have got options and how to style the mermaids and what they're going to look like. And yeah, it just is. It's a gorgeously illustrated book. But the back cover folds out. So if they want to park spare tickets in there, stickers, should I say? And also the stickers tear out so that you can reference the page numbers. And yeah, so that's that one. Next, again, this is a lifesaver as well. This is called the Magic Painting Book. Sorry, I didn't say, this one retails for $5.99. Can be found in the catalogue, and I think for the 200 stickers and the creativity it brings, it's a steal at $5.99. Magic Painting Book. Okay, so this is a godsend when you don't necessarily want to go getting the whole craft box out, paints, having to put a cover up on. Essentially, all you need for this book is a dish of water. The paint brush comes with it. It's totally black and white inside. There is no colour anywhere. That is until they put the paintbrush on the page and then all of the colours come to life. I find this is fantastic. I actually did one this morning with Leonard that was from a different range of books. It wasn't great because the colours weren't strong enough. However, the colours in this book really do pop, and they are, for £5.99, you can't go wrong. You're essentially getting two lots of sort of crafts in one there. Painting without the mess. As a parent that needs to do something quick and get their attention and get going with an activity straight away, because he loses interest even when you start getting out the box. He's waiting for everything to be set up. With this, you don't need that. You just need the water paintbrush and off you go. So like I said, have a look inside there again. There's lots of different pictures. It's gorgeous, it really is. This is aimed at 5+, children who are 5+, but my son's 4. So ultimately, a lot of these books, if they are activity based, with supervision, you can bring that age range down a bit. But this is fantastic for a quick and easy win. And just to give you an idea, well, it's not an idea, but this morning we did one that was, it was from a different series of books, but it just gives you an idea that when you wet the page, you get this different, the different colours merging into one. Just a really loose example there. So it's got 16 gorgeous illustrations in there, and there's a flap to place the painting to stop the paint seeping through as well, which is really handy because you don't often get that. So you can put the flap over the painting that you're actually doing at the time, which again, for a parent, it means you don't have to go getting a mess mat out. It just means it's easy, and it's one activity there that will keep you busy for an hour or so at least. And there's page after page in there, so have a look at that one, that's definite. Next, we're starting to get now to the age ranges where we're looking at a little bit more imaginative thinking. You're looking at 6+ now. So I know I've done the younger books first. We're now moving on to sort of this like creative, imaginative, starting to really get into the throes of reading. And this is a fantastic, really charming book that is called Uni Pickle. It's about a unicorn pig, believe it or not. And it's essentially, obviously, a unicorn model. It's £5.99. It's aimed at ages 6+. And it's essentially, I'll read you the synopsis. So, welcome to Twinkleland Kingdom, where everything is 100% perfect, except Princess P. She loves getting muddy, having fun, and she is not keen on choosing her own perfect unicorn at the Royal Unicorn Parade, until the final unicorn turns out to be a podgy, pongy, proud, magic-horned pig. So the adventures of Princess P and Uni Pickle begin. So meet the princess who loves breaking the rules and her royal unicorn who happens to be a pig, or rather, a Uni Pickle. It's just a brilliantly gorgeous book. Some of the illustrations in it, it's just really fun. It's really good fun reading for sort of 6+. That gives you an idea of sort of the spacing and the text size, so you can gauge off that really whether you think that would be a fit for your child and where their reading's up to at this moment in time. Like I said, you can say from 6+, but you'll know whether your 7-year-old or your 4.5, 5-year-old maybe might be ready to start reading this. You could buy this as an adult and then read it to them, and then they can take over and read it after you. Yeah, really, really cute story, and definitely one for any unicorn lovers out there, because I know there's lots of them. Next, we've got a fingerprint activity book. This is brilliant. Okay, so this is again another sort of activity-based book rather than a book, obviously a literature book, and it's aged 6+. But again, I know with supervision, so if I sat with my son and did this, he's 4, I know that he would absolutely love this. So it's gorgeous, full of ideas for fingerprinting. It creates scenes with the 7 different colours. And as you can see, there's like a spiral binder which allows it to sit flat on the page, on the table. So there's none of that trying to put a fingerprint on while the book is buckling. It essentially takes you through different scenes, you know, it allows the child to have imagination, all from simply using the fingers. Again, this is another really quick win for a parent. These are the types of books that we need to be able to get out. You need a finger and an ink pad, that's all you need. And you've got hours of fun in this book where you can start putting fingerprints on and creating the story, getting their imagination going. It's brilliant for that. So that's that one. The Wizard of Oz, fan favourite. Absolutely love this story. This one is just the standard Wizard of Oz story, traditional Wizard of Oz story, which is brilliant. It's gorgeous illustrations. It retails for $5.99. Sorry, I didn't tell you, did I? This one is $9.99. Again, it's not just a book, it's activities as well. So for $9.99, I think that's a bit of a steal, to be honest. And this one retails for $5.99, and it's aimed at age 6+. So obviously we've got the featured people there. We've got the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, the Lion, and of course Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. It's just a lovely traditional book for $5.99. Let's have a look at the text so you can see again. Nice big text, easy reading, aimed at age 6+. So then we've got, we're starting to get into like referencing books for children, which is really good. So we've got a big picture book of general knowledge aimed at age 6+. This is essentially all of those what, where, why questions. So when were the fireworks first made? How many satellites have been sent into space? What does the word kimono mean? Find out the answers to these questions and more in these. It's just stunning illustrations again. It's great for any fact-loving children that want to really widen their knowledge on just different areas. General knowledge, obviously, I suppose. Again, this book includes internet links to websites. So as you go through the book, they've got the quick links. Oh, wow, they've got quick links at the back there, so that you can go on and see. And yeah, it's just lovely. All these different buildings. It takes you through all different, a variety of different general knowledge topic areas, and that one retails for $12.99. Fantastic. See Inside Your Body, $9.99. This is aimed at age 6+. Now this also follows Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2 at school. So this is again a really great reference book, and it's a lift flap book. So throughout the book you'll be able to open the flaps and see all of the different areas of the body and what it does. You know, it takes you through all of the different jobs that are different functions of the body do, and just allows for that, you know, scientific